Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Space, and today what I thought we would do is test out some of the paint that I got in my Hobby Lobby haul. I did promise that I was going to use pretty much all of my stuff that I get in hauls in videos, so here we go. I'm super excited. I also want to thank the new subscribers that have joined. That just makes me feel so happy and so appreciative, and I'm so happy to find a community of people who share the same interests that I do. So thank you so much for subscribing, and I hope I do not disappoint. So today what we're going to do is paint with a couple of the paints that I got from Hobby Lobby. And the first one that we're going to try out is the Deco Art Designer Series, and this color is called Party Pink. And I'd say it's kind of like a, I guess like a bubblegum pink color. And then the second one that we're going to use is the Americana Decor, well, it's by Deco Art, and it's the Outdoor Living, so it's an exterior-interior paint. And this one, it was $8 and I got it for $2, and then this one was $6 and I got it for $1.50. And then the third paint I actually got from Michael's, and it is bright yellow, and it's a Craft Smart acrylic paint. And I honestly don't remember how much this was, but this isn't going to be like a super in-depth tutorial on how to do paint pouring, which I don't think I mentioned is what we're going to do today. But if you guys want to know more about it and the technique, I will definitely share what I know with you guys. I'm definitely not a pro by any means, but by trial and error, I have found a few things that I think might be helpful for people. And if you're wondering what this S means, that just means that I've strained this paint. Alright, so this isn't meant to be a tutorial, but I am going to throw some tutorial-ish stuff in there. So I'm going to be painting on a 8x10 canvas, which I got a whole bunch of them from from Michael's. They came in a value pack, and they're great for testing small projects on before you go to like the bigger projects. And I know that for an 8x10 I need 3 ounces of paint, and if I want to cover the edges I need an extra ounce of paint. So I'm going to mix 4 ounces of paint. So the other thing that I know is that I want my main color for this painting to be this color right here. It's like a hot pink almost color. And I want there to be a bit of yellow, but not a whole lot. I want it to just kind of, I guess, lace in there. And then my other color to be this pink color. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 ounces of this hot pink color and then an ounce of the other colors. So I've got my scale out so that I can mix my paint with my Floetrol, which is like a paint medium. So like I said, if you guys want me to get more in depth into how I come up with my ratios and all this other stuff, definitely let me know and I'll do another video on that. But if I mix it in with this video, I think it's going to make this video extremely long. So like I said, I'm going to do 2 ounces of this color, which I absolutely love. It's beautiful. So if you're interested in this paint, it does smell, and I think it's because it doesn't need like a sealer with it and it's already built into it, so that might be what makes it smell. It's definitely a lot stronger than regular acrylic paints. I always mix my paints for pouring with a 1-to-1 ratio, one part paint and the 1 part Floetrol, so that's why I have the scale here. And so since I was going to do 2 ounces of this paint, I'm going to do an ounce, or 2 ounces of this color I should say. I'm going to do an ounce of this paint, and then I'm going to do an ounce of Floetrol. If you're interested in getting Floetrol, I got mine at Home Depot. But I believe you could probably also get it at Lowe's and maybe even Walmart, although I haven't checked either one of those places. So I'm mixing an ounce of Floetrol into here so that we have 2 ounces of paint. And I like this squirt bottle, and I like to kind of squirt it from the side, because that will keep any, even though I strain my Floetrol, there could still be little bits in there. So if I pour it from the side, the little bits are more than likely going to stay in the bottle and not come out into my cup. I'm just going to mix that real quick. I usually don't mix it this vigorously because I don't want a whole lot of bubbles in here, but I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. Alright, so we're going to do 0.5 ounces of this color, and then 0.5 ounces of my Floetrol, so that we have an ounce of paint. I really like that color. It's really cute. And then 0.5 ounces of the yellow. And if I go a little over, which sometimes I do on purpose just because I end up like letting a lot of the paint spill off the sides, then I just make sure that if I went over and say I put 0.6, which it looks like I did, 0.6 ounces of paint in there, then I'll just put 0.6 ounces of Floetrol. Alright, now I just give everything one last stir, because once I put the silicone in here, which gives it its cells, I don't want to stir it very much. So I just want to make sure that my Floetrol and my acrylic paint didn't separate at all, and it all looks good. And pretty much you know it's stirred up well if you don't see any streaks of white in there anymore, like any white marbling, which is the Floetrol just not mixed with the acrylic paint yet. And now I'm going to put my silicone in here, which I can't seem to open. And if you're interested in the silicone, it is called Spot On, and it's treadmill belt lubricant. That's just the one that I use, but I've heard other people use other things. I got this on Amazon, and it was relatively cheap, and it lasts forever. And although my bottle is almost empty, but that's because I spilled it. And then I'm just going to put, I don't know, probably about 5 or 6 drops in the one that has more paint in it, and about 3 drops in the other colors. Oops, I ended up doing 4 in the yellow, but that's okay. So now what I'm going to do is just stir the silicone into the paint, and you pretty much just want to fold it like you would fold, I guess, batter or something like that. So I'm just kind of not stirring it, I'm just kind of folding it a little bit. You don't want to go too crazy. Alrighty, now we've got our colors mixed, and it's time to do the fun part, which is paint our canvas. Or should I say pour on our canvas. So I have a Lazy Susan here, and I got this from IKEA. The paint actually peels right off of it, so that's really nice. And it allows me to see all sides of my paint or my canvas, because I like to have my paint on the edges of the canvas. Alright, I feel like our canvas is nice and sturdy. You know, it's hard to do crafting and remember all the steps that you're supposed to do when you're doing something that requires like a little bit of precision. I forgot an important step, and that was to pour my paints into the cup. So let's go ahead and take that canvas off of there and put the paint in the actual cup. So I've got a lot more of this hot pink, so that means I'm gonna layer it a bit more. That's just the way that I want to do it, because I know that I want this to kind of be the main color in the painting. So I'm just gonna pour a little bit in the cup. And since I don't want it to make an orange color, what I'm going to do is the dark pink, the light pink, and then the yellow. And I'm just going to layer it that way. And I'm going to make my layers of yellow just a bit on the big side, because I don't want there to be too much yellow in here. So what I'm planning on doing is only 2 layers of the yellow. So now I'm going to go back and do, still feel like this hot pink color is a bit chunky. But I think it's just because it's thicker than the other paints. I probably should have added a little more Floetrol to it. Alright, then our big thing of yellow. So what I'm hoping with this is that the yellow will just kind of streak through the middle. But I don't know. Every time I plan something with pouring, it doesn't quite come out the way that I want it to. Anyway. Alrighty, now that we have our paint in our cup, I don't want to turn it too much, but you can tell that, oops, you can tell that there's a whole lot of that hot pink and just a tiny bit of the light pink and the yellow. Hopefully you can tell with the lighting that we have. I'm going to put my canvas here, and then, well, actually, I'm going to put the canvas on top of the cup and then flip the cup over. There we go. I'm going to let the paint settle for just a second, and then I'm going to slowly lift it. And I always lift it towards myself. I don't know why, because I guess I can see it a little better. And I'm just going to go around. Now, a lot of people torch the paint, or use a torch on top of the paint to get the bubbles out. And I typically do this as well, but the reason that I'm not going to do this time is because of this indoor-outdoor paint. It scares me that it is water-based, but I don't know. I have kind of this weird iffy feeling about it because it smells funny. Plus, if I decide to put resin on it, then the texture, if the bubbles pop or whatever, it won't look so bad. So anyway, let's go ahead and spread it out and see. Oops, got a little hair on there. See how it looks. And you can see the yellow starting to really pop through. And I know people are probably like, well, why don't you wear gloves? And the thing is, I don't know. The paint comes off pretty easily. Oops, that was a whole lot of paint I just poured off. It's hard to get a good angle for you guys without pouring this all over my table. So far though, this is looking really cute. I got some pretty decent sized cells everywhere. The yellow's really starting to pop through in places. The light pink actually didn't do like I thought it would, and that's the joy and the aggravation of pouring, I guess, is that you can't really plan on, well, more experienced people probably can, but whenever I plan on how a pour is going to look, it never does work that way for me. Sorry, I know you guys can't see this. There we go. I am really, really liking this. That yellow's really starting to peek through, which is really what is saving this painting right now, because the light pinks seem to have gotten a bit gobbled up by that hot pink. But the more that I tilt it, the more it's starting to show up. And you can see that it's not really turning orange, which was what I was scared of. Like if I would have layered pink, yellow, pink, yellow, pink, yellow, I would have gotten a ton of orange in here. So that's just one of the things that you have to kind of keep in mind when you're doing pouring. So I'm really happy with the way that this is looking so far. This is super cute. What I usually do is the drippings that have fallen onto my Lazy Susan, I'll just use that to kind of fill in the spots on the corners, because for some reason I always seem to miss the corners. So I just take my finger and I dab it around and get the different colors on there. If it's a place where I see there's more yellow, then I'll try to pick up the spills that have more yellow in it, so that you know, it doesn't look so out of place. Oh, the other thing that I'll usually do is I'll take one of my popsicle sticks and I'll just run it along the bottom. I don't tape up my bottoms or anything. I let the paint get underneath the canvas. I don't really care. If I get super worried about it and I feel like maybe it doesn't look good or something, then I'll just find some kind of decorative tape or some kind of backing to put on this. But I usually don't worry about it. So I will see you guys in a bit once this is all dry, and we'll see how it turned out. Hey guys, it's been almost 24 hours and I wanted to show you what the painting looked like when it was dried. I wouldn't like flex it around a whole lot after 24 hours because I feel like that's just not enough curing time. Most people say to cure it for a week, and I pretty much agree with that, just to be on the safe side. So I'm really loving the colors. Look how much that hot pink color just kind of pops, and the yellow. I think it was a great choice to kind of layer it the way that we did, because as you can see, there's not really any orange in the picture. And also the yellow just pops really well up against that hot pink. So prior to making this one, I tested out these colors on another 8x10. I prefer to do my 8x10s in sets anyway, because I feel like an 8x10 is just such a small painting, and I feel like if people wanted to make more of a statement, they could, you know, get doubles and have them in the same color, you know. So I went ahead and I had made one a couple days prior to this one, and it looks like this. A bit more of that light pink is in there, but I think it just flows really well together. I think someone could like put the two paintings like this. Sorry about my camera angles. And it really flows nicely. Or maybe they could do it like this. There's still a little wet paint underneath the one I just did because of where I picked up the cup from, or picked it up off the cup. But something like this would be really neat as well. It's pretty much however the person buying it wants to display it, and that is one reason why I don't put my signature on the front, because I don't want to make it to where a person feels like they have to display it a certain way. So I haven't decided yet, but I might put it on the side or I might put it on the back. But anyway, I hope you guys like this, and I hope it gives you a good feel for the colors, and I look forward to making more videos for you guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys!